Доброго дня, це ми.
Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odessa. Now we are having with us the Minister of Defense of Slovakia, Jaroslav, who is online with us today. For those who are here in the room, the briefing will be held in English. If you need translation into Ukrainian, please don't forget to use your headsets.
Happy to see you here online. You are welcome here.
Thank you very much. Really, I'm so happy that I have an opportunity to meet you today, to speak to you and to answer questions of journalists from Ukraine and elsewhere. It's really an honor for me to have this opportunity to meet you online, at least, and to discuss various issues of joint mutual interest. First of all, I'd like to say that here in Slovakia, the government stands with Ukraine very much. We are all united in finding whatever option how to help Ukrainians, to help your people to defend your country against the Russian aggression. We're looking for options, also cooperate with allies from NATO and EU in order to find solutions. And I believe that with the braveness of your people, your soldiers, and your political leadership, we will together succeed in fighting Russian aggression.
Thanks. And the first question, let's just start with fighter jets. In summer, there was information that Slovakia is possibly ready to transfer to Ukraine its Soviet-made MiG-29, but there was no information since summer. And are there any news? And the follow-up question to this one is about American-made F-16. If United States are going to provide such fighter jets for Slovakia, will your country be able to train Ukrainian pilots on that fighter jets?
Well, first of all, yes, we have acquired F-16s, Block 7, to the newest version of F-16s supersonic jets back, I think, in 2019. And still waiting for delivery. So far, we don't have them in Slovakia. They should arrive sometimes in a year time from now. But yes, we have made decision to ground MiG-29 supersonic jets from 1st of October last year. So they're not flying anymore. They are landed in one of the Air Force base in Slovakia. And yes, we are ready to discuss delivery of or donation of that planes to Ukraine. Whatever decision of the Slovak government depends on first interest of the government of Ukraine, and second agreement of allies in this topic or issue, and we are discussing that. We're not going to give it anywhere else. We are still willing to donate that to Ukraine. If the situation is, as you has said, that United States would provide F-16 planes to Ukraine, as I understood it correctly, then obviously once we have F-16s ready, we would be more than willing to train Ukrainian pilots. But on F-16s. But first, we don't have them yet, and second, the number one priority would be to donate that MiG-29s to Ukraine to help your country defend.
Thanks. I'll give the mic to the floor. Please introduce yourselves and state questions. If there are any, yes, please take the mic from the first row, please. Can you pass the mic to our colleague? Thank you. Is it turned on? Does it work? Yeah.
Michael Washura, Newsweek magazine. Back in December, there was some talk about Slovakia being one of the countries which might restart production of 122 millimeter and 152 millimeter shells. Is there any update on progress of Slovakia potentially producing these calibers of artillery, which Ukraine is clearly in need of?
Yes, thank you. We have a company in Slovakia that is focusing on production of various types of ammunition, including the types that you have mentioned. Yes, comparing to the past, there is really a high demand now for these kind of calibers, 155, 122, 152. Working on investments now to increase the production. And we expect additional investments for additional increase because as we speak now, I know that this company, which is 50% owned by the Slovak government, is sold out for 3 years, I think. So really, we need investment in these terms. But even if you invest to increase the production line, it takes at least a year to actually double the production, because it takes a year to establish the new production line and so on, and waiting for delivery and so on and so forth. So yes, we're working on that, and I can assure you that the production itself, ammunition, has a clear final destination.
Thanks. Next question, please.
My name is Irina Nazarchuk. The most popular word for the last days and weeks, the technical issue. Can our guest hear the translation into English? Yes. Now, coming back to the most popular word of the latest days, leopard. And we are not talking about animals here, but about tanks. Can you tell us about Slovakia leopards, if you have them? Can you provide them to Ukraine?
With Germany last year, sometimes over the summertime, that we have provided 30 BMPs to Ukrainian armed forces in exchange for 15 Leopard 2A4 tanks coming from Germany. So far, we have received one of that tanks in December, and we expect additional delivery, 2 per month starting in March, up to 15. There is no discussion now about possibility of deployment of Slovak, once they come, Leopards to Ukraine. What we have actually proposed is that we still have 30 T-72 tanks, and we would be ready to send them immediately, even tomorrow, to Ukraine, if there would be an option to receive Western tanks, Leopard or any other in exchange. We need to have at least 42, 43 tanks based on the NATO criteria, capability targets. And so far we have 30, and 15 should come from Germany. So we'll have 45 then, and there is no space for decrease in Slovakia. But there is space for exchange, that we can send immediately T-72s, and then later on received a backfill from the West.
Thank you. The next question, please. While my colleagues are thinking, I wanted to ask about Patriot systems. As far as I understand, there are such air defense systems, Patriot, in Slovakia. Is it possible maybe to transfer one of these systems to Ukraine, or at least give possibility to Ukrainian military to train using this system in Slovakia? It's much nearer than in States.
Absolutely. First of all, the only strategic air defense system that we have in Slovakia is the S-300 system that we have provided to Ukraine sometimes in April last year. So currently we have 3 Patriot batteries in Slovakia, but one of them is American and 2 of them are German. There is no Slovak system. There are allied systems, United States and German, based in Slovakia to protect Slovak sky. Yes, we have also proposed to our American colleagues that if they want to train your soldiers to use this system in Slovakia, we're more than willing to provide this option. Moreover, we have several hundred of Ukrainians even today being trained in Slovakia. So it wouldn't be anything else, anything new for us. But we don't have our own system, so we cannot tell you that we're going to give you a foreign Patriot system that is placed in Slovakia. But yes, in terms of training, we can help you.
Thanks. The next question, if there is, I'll just. Okay, please, Irina.
I have one more question. How Slovakia is involved, or is Slovakia involved in the training of Ukrainian military according to NATO standards?
We have been involved in training of Ukrainian armed forces since even before the summertime last year. We started with small groups of specialists in various issues or capabilities like demining, and then other. Then specialists for Zuzana 2 howitzers that we have provided to Ukraine. And now we have on a monthly basis training of 200 plus Ukrainians that are trained in one of our military training areas, and those are soldiers for mechanized and infantry capabilities. So yes, since October every month we have 200 plus Ukrainian armed forces specialists or members training in Slovakia.
Thanks. I'd like to ask about Susanna artillery you mentioned. Ukrainian army and Ukrainian people are very grateful for the supply of this artillery. As soon as the order is going to be paid, will Slovakia be able to supply more such artillery vehicles to Ukrainian army to defend our territory?
Yes, we're working on it really intensively. I can tell you that there was a contract for 8 piece which was fulfilled. So 8 piece is already in Ukraine. Then we have made arrangement, Slovakia, Germany, Denmark and Norway. And together we have agreed that we would prepare additional 16 Zuzana 2 howitzers. This will be paid by those 3 countries and done in Slovakia or made in Slovakia. Working on that, and over this year we will start with delivery to Ukraine. And then I was just told recently that there is additional will from Ukrainian side for additional, I think, 11 Zuzana 2 howitzers. We expect the signature of contract. Working on that very closely. Your representatives of Ministry of Defense were here last week, and I hope we'll manage to come to final agreement very soon.
Thanks. As far as we all know from history, Slovakia military production complex was always kind of known in the world, and I wanted to ask you how much the level of production has risen during last year, because as we all understand, Ukrainian military production complex was to be moved from Ukraine to be safe in Eastern European countries, Central European countries, because of Russian missile hits. How much is military complex of Slovakia is working on? How much is here loaded with some orders?
Yes, I can tell you that all the companies are working not only 100%, but even more. Sometimes they have 2 shifts during the day, sometimes even 3 shifts during the day. So it is really loaded with orders, but there was no real move of whatever of your production to Slovakia. There were some discussions, but it did not happen yet. Maybe it will happen later. But yes, our companies have orders from various countries, from the Slovak government, obviously, then from your government. But the final destination of production is mostly Ukraine.
Thanks. I got a question from my colleague. he wrote me that as soon as Russia acknowledged Slovakia as a non-friendly state, the state corporation, which is responsible for MiG fighter jet service, has called away all the specialists from Slovakia, which had to actually work with the fighter jets you have. They are not flying, but they require service. And my colleague asks whether you are going to ask to require for compensation from Russian Federation for such a step towards you.
There will certainly be some kind of discussion with RSK MiG, the Russian company, first on non-fulfilling the side of the contract they had, and then also on other issues that we have still open on both sides. As a matter of fact, yes, Russia put us on the list of unfriendly countries, but also based on the current situation, it would be probably surprised if Russia would be able or willing to compensate whatever non-fulfilled parts of the contract. I'm realistic, and I don't expect any such steps. On the other hand, we will certainly safeguard our interests of our country. And yes, once they decided to withdraw their tacticians they had in Slovakia, they were not able to fulfill their part. But on the other hand, we were quite happy because, as a matter of fact, even our pilots wouldn't feel very safe if these people would be during the wartime and Russian aggression in Ukraine would be responsible for safety of our pilots flying on MiG-29s.
Yeah, I think I got you. One more question about military complex again. There was information that in Czech Republic, the Czech government announced that it's ready to invite Ukrainian specialists from Ukrainian military complex factories and plants to Czech ones to work there. I heard what you said about the details that Ukrainian military complex was not moved to Slovakia, but possibly it is possible for some Ukrainian military specialists who create weapons, shells, artillery, etc., to work in Slovakia, on Slovakia plants. So if it's possible or not.
This happens already. There are companies that agreed with Ukrainian specialists, and they are working for those Slovak companies now, trying to help to bring some lessons learned, know-how in order to fit the best to needs the Ukrainian armed forces have.
Thanks. Are there any questions from the colleagues here? No. Okay, thank you. We are going to finish the briefing. Thank you for the time you spent with us and for the answers you provided, for the information you provided. Hope to see you here again, maybe online, maybe offline. Odessa is welcoming you, and we will be glad to see you here in our media center.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I would be glad to come during my next stay in Ukraine, which will certainly happen soon. We can stay in touch, and I'll be more than happy to come and have a live, let's say, discussion. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best, and I wish peace to Ukraine and to people in Ukraine. You deserve a positive future, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the Minister of Defense of Slovakia, Jaroslav. This is the last briefing for today. Stay tuned, follow the information in our Telegram channel. Please subscribe to our newsletter where we monitor the events in the Odessa and Mykolaiv Oblast. And don't forget to visit our website.